So, the Wano arc is finally over. The anime has finally moved on from the Wano arc, and we move on over to the next arc in One Piece. And I figured it was time to make a video based around my top 5 favorite Nami moments of Wano. As some of you may know, I'm a big Nami fan, so I wanted to compile, a top 5 Nami moments that happened in Wano. There were, a lot of stuff that Nami did in Wano. So it wasn't really difficult to, compile my top 5 favorite moments. It was just basically where to arrange them. And, what is my favorite Nami moment from Wano, and list where the other 4 should go on this list, right? So I wanted to make this video because I love Nami, and I wanted to share my top 5 favorite moments of Nami in Wano. I just want to say, no, that scene is not part of my top 5. In fact, if I had to choose, it would probably be my least favorite Nami moment of all time, and I'm talking about the bathhouse scene. Hopefully you enjoyed this video as I tell you my top 5 favorite Nami moments in Wano. Number 5. Nami zaps Orochi. People don't really remember early Wano. I'm sure there are some people who do, but early Wano was not as interesting as the raid when it happened. And one of the things that happened in early Wano was Nami basically zapping Orochi to help save Robin, Brook, and a bunch of other characters escape from, Orochi's hold. And Nami used the strength of Zeus as part of her arsenal to zap Orochi, someone who was never really harmed at this point in time, aside from, the flashback. And I think that's really it. Like, she was the first one to actually deal damage to Orochi that we've seen that wasn't a flashback. And she basically zapped the crap out of him. This is a really dope Nami moment, because out of everybody, Nami would definitely be one of those people who would do basically anything to hurt Orochi because of how much of a prick he is, right? So Nami using Zeus, feeding him thunderbolts, she zapped the crap out of him, and this basically made a cool moment for Nami. And despite some people arguing whether or not, Zeus is really Nami's power, it doesn't belong to her, that's Big Mom's. There's always going to be a debate, and it's just a ridiculous debate because people just don't want to see Nami get stronger, right? But besides the point, Zeus was able to showcase just how strong he can be against Orochi. Now, Orochi isn't, a big bad, but we saw, Zeus's strength against Big Mom. While he didn't actually harm Big Mom, he's stopped her. And that was because Nami fed Zeus thunderbolts to make him be and get that strong. And Nami being one of the first people to actually damage Orochi is great to see, because he's definitely one of those guys that Nami would despise so much. So her being the first one to actually zap Orochi, that at least I could recall, is amazing. It's an amazing moment for her, and I'm glad Oda was able to do that and give Nami the ability to, zap Orochi and save Robin, Brook, and everybody else. Number 4. Nami tells Otama about Ace. This is a small moment, not really a power scaling moment, and I always believe that moments that could be a lot of people's favorites don't have to necessarily be about power scaling or, them doing some sort of amazing feat. Nami telling Otama about Ace is a significant moment because of the relationship Otama had with Ace and eventually Luffy. Despite the fact that, Otama adored Ace and, how he promised to take her out to see all the amazing things so that, she could eat all the food in the world. And then, she meets Luffy and he helps her out. He protects her. He saves her. When Otama, tells Luffy that she had a great relationship with Ace, he throws her a bombshell. Luffy doesn't tell her that Ace is his brother. He doesn't. Because I feel like that Luffy probably didn't think it mattered. But he wanted to tell her that Ace is dead so that she doesn't wait, that she doesn't hold on to this belief that he will one day, find her and take her out to sea like Ace promised. So it became a thing where, like, when will Otama know about Ace? And I think Oda choosing Nami to tell Otama about, Luffy and Ace's relationship, I think is a very heartwarming moment that allows Nami to connect more with Otama. And I think Nami, who is very motherly, especially since post time skip, is one of the great ways to showcase that part of her trait, right? So Nami telling Otama this allows her to comfort Otama, because Oda wants you to know, the reader to know, that Nami cares a lot about children, and that, you know, that's part of her character, her personality, to showcase that heartwarming, you know, kind and caring character Nami is. And making her the one to tell Otama about Ace and Luffy's relationship, I think was a perfect thing to do. And it was such a nice and sweet moment that I wanted to put it in my top 5, because it showcased a lot about how Oda views Nami as this kind and caring person who acts very motherly, especially when it involves children, to showcase that Nami is more than just this thief, more than just some heroine or some female character in a shonen series, but to showcase a part of her personality that a lot of Nami fans love and adore about her. So that's why this is my number 4 favorite Nami moment scene, and it's just a wonderful scene, a really good Nami moment, and that's why I have it at my number 4. Number 3, Nami defeats Ulti. Nami beating Ulti was one of my favorite moments in Wano because of it just showed Nami's strength with Zeus. Similar to how, you know, the 5th moment is, you know, Nami zapping Orochi. This showcase, you know, Nami now being fully in control, having Zeus as part of her arsenal, and showcasing just what he can do. Now, this fight may have an asterisk behind it, simply because of Big Mom's interference, which I personally did not like. But it showcased that Nami has now a huge arsenal to use against stronger opponents. Ulti was one of the Tobiropo, and basically was one of the stronger members of the Tobiropo, and showcased it by literally just how much she tanked everything, you know? How much stamina she has. She literally tanked one of Luffy's, you know, headbutts. She survived Big Mom's attack and all this stuff. And Nami then finally finished, you know, her off. It also showcased a lot of Nami's personality and emotion, because she was scared most of the time during, you know, her running away from Ulti, during the fight with Ulti, showing 2 types of Nami's personality. The one that, you know, a lot of people always accuse her of being, which is a scaredy cat, which, you know, is normal for Nami. She can be scared. There's nothing wrong with being scared. I mean, Usopp's scared all the time, but nobody gives him any grief. But the point is that it showcased Nami being afraid, but still trying her best to make sure to defeat, or, you know, do her best against a strong opponent. When Otama gets hurt, that's when you finally see that anger and that strength with Nami, to basically, no matter who she's up against, if she sees something that she does not like, she will, you know, stand up against whoever that person is. And Ulti being around, you know, a reasonable level for her to fight, this basically created a great opportunity for Nami to fight against Ulti. That's why this is one of my favorite moments of Nami, because it showcased now that Nami can be very strong. While she may not defeat, you know, the very strongest, because, you know, most of those fights are going to be left to, you know, Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji, and Jinbei, and so on and so forth, she still is able to handle alone. And now with Zeus as a big power-up, it's clear as day that, you know, Oda wanted to give Nami some sort of power-up to allow her to defend herself and to fight for what she believes in. That this was a perfect time to do it. Zeus became part of her arsenal, and boom. And it was really wonderful to see. Like I said, there's an asterisk behind this fight, but at the end of the day, Nami won. Her getting this huge power boost with Zeus and becoming her strength. Yes, I said that, her strength. Don't give me that Zeus is not part of Nami's strength. I don't care how people view Zeus as some sort of, you know, separate entity, and it's all Zeus this, Zeus that. Zeus is the one who really does all the work. They have a connection, and she uses him as part of her arsenal, and that makes her stronger. Number 2, Nami yells at Kaido. Oh boy, was it a sight and treat to see Nami yelling at Kaido when he said that Luffy was defeated and that he died. It was such a tremendous moment because it showcased Nami's bravery. Think about this. This is Kaido, the big bad of Wano, who literally could destroy everybody there, even her, instantly, and she did not care. The moment she heard that Luffy died, she stood up and yelled at him, telling him that he was full of basically lies. He's full of shit. You know, he's a snake. And that made me proud as a Nami fan because it showcased her courage, her bravery. A lot of people will say that she's always a scaredy cat, and you know, most of the time she is. But she has this boost of bravery, this adrenaline of bravery and courage, that when she's up against a huge dragon, a huge big bad boss like Kaido, she doesn't care. If she hears something she doesn't like, if she hears something that she just doesn't agree with, that, just hurts her in any form of way, she is willing to stand up, because that's what Luffy, inspired in her. That's what Luffy taught her, to stand up against these people. It's why Arlong Park was such a huge moment and a huge thing for Nami's character, because once she saw Luffy defeat Arlong, she gained this courage, and this courage stuck throughout a lot of One Piece that a lot of people seem to miss out, because they only see the coward part of her. But her being able to stand up to Kaido was such an amazing moment, because it just showed her loyalty to Luffy and the crew, and it was such a wonderful moment that I had to put it as my 2 top spots. And I just love rewatching it so much, because it showcased so much about Nami's personality that a lot of people just seem to excuse, because they have this sort of agenda and want to prop up their other characters, because they believe that she's not as loyal as Zoro, and so on and so forth. But this has been shown constantly, time and time again, that Nami is one of Luffy's loyal members of the crew, and that no matter what, she will stick behind Luffy and always believe in him. And Wano showcased this when Nami literally stood up to Kaido, and as a Nami fan, that was one of my favorite moments, and I was so proud of her for that. Number 1, Luffy will be the Pirate King. Oh boy. So here is my favorite Nami moment of Wano. Nami telling Ulti that Luffy will become king of pirates. You have to understand the situation that Nami was in this scenario. She has been running away from Ulti because of how strong she is. She has been, hit by Ulti. She has to basically escape Ulti, run away from Ulti, because, it showcased how scared she was of the situation, and she knew that Ulti was stronger than her. I don't see why, Nami wouldn't think that, right? But despite everything, despite all the pain, how scared she was, she just showcased her loyalty, her courage, her bravery for Luffy. And it was just a wonderful thing to see. Such a happy and proud moment if you are a Nami fan. Because no matter what Ulti told her, no matter what Ulti did, and she threatened to kill Nami. And she said basically that she would spare Nami if Nami told her that Luffy would not become Pirate King, that Kaido would become the Pirate King. She was crying, she was in pain, she feared her own life, and she just was so wonderful and such a loyal crewmate. Because my God, in the face of all of this, and knowing Nami's personality, where she would sometimes be scared a lot, she was like, nah fam, nah, I ain't gonna do it. She basically became brave enough. She didn't care if Ulti was gonna kill her. She didn't even care what Usopp would have told her. And after what she witnessed at WCI, with the way Sanji acted with the whole Sanji versus Luffy fight, it showcased that she does not appreciate anyone making fun of Luffy in his dream, because of how much Luffy did for her, how much Luffy means to her, because of everything that Luffy has done for her. He literally saved and liberated her from the rule of Arlong and made her free. Nami was not going to basically tell Ulti that Kaido was going to become the Pirate King, that Luffy was not going to become the Pirate King. Now, while the anime kind of, well, not really the anime, it was more of the subtitles kind of messed up the way Nami, said that line. The manga version is much better, so if you only seen the anime version, definitely check out the manga version, because the manga version line is much better. She basically just said Luffy will become the Pirate King. She didn't hesitate. She did not hesitate, because Nami will always be loyal to Luffy because of everything he has done for her. Tears on her face, blood streaming down her head. It's just such an amazing Nami moment that it should be appreciated because of how loyal she is. And no matter how scared she is, no matter what kind of threat she is up against, she is not going to let anyone disrespect Luffy's dream because of how much Luffy has done for her. Nami fans around the world knew just how loyal she is and how much Luffy has done for her. And a lot of people don't always seem to see that because of, you know, certain agendas and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it showcased just Nami's loyalty. And a lot of people saw that and were very impressed when, you know, that episode first aired, when the manga chapter first, you know, was released. And it was such an amazing Nami moment that I just had to put it as my #1 favorite Nami moment in Wano. And, oh man, overall, it was such a treat to see. And I'm glad Oda did this. It was, so good. I just loved it very, very much. So that was my top 5 favorite Nami moments. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite Nami moments were, and, you know, we can have a, you know, sort of little discussion, you know. But thank you so much. Please like the video if you want to see more of my content. I specifically One Piece wise really like to focus on Nami, and hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next One Piece video. So take care, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.